So this is a follow-up video about Padlet and different ways to create a Padlet and different ways to post. So the cool thing about Padlet is this gallery here, and I have it pulled up at the top. But the gallery is examples of Padlets from either the Padlet team or user community, so other people who have made them. And you can use these as examples, or you have the option to remake them. So if I go back to my dashboard and make a Padlet, I get all these different options. And it's kind of overwhelming because you don't know what to do with them. So I'm going to show you a few examples. The first example is an example of a shelf. So this one, first grade bookshelf. It's a shelf because it's got a heading, beginning, rhyming, patterns, math, and then things posted underneath. So this person created different categories to sort their books. You can see across the top, and then have links to the books underneath. So here they're linked on Barnes & Noble. So if I chose to click one, it would bring me to purchasing them on Barnes & Noble. But if you're doing a classroom virtually, this might be a good place to post links to read alouds on YouTube. And this way the kids can sort the different books. You can have it sorted by level, however you wanted to do it. But this is a great way to post books, and it's very visual, especially for younger kids. I'll skip around a little bit. The KWL chart, what we know, what we want to know, and what we learned, is another great use of shelves because you can make your heading, and then the kids can post their own posts underneath what section they believe that it belongs in. So they know the human body helps you move. They want to know, how do we stretch? And they learned that the body systems are interconnected. So this is a great way to use a Padlet that can be referenced throughout a unit. Let's go back. Other ways, other types of Padlets. Timelines are really interesting because you can make things really simply like a life cycle. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4. It's very visual because it's along this timeline. You can add pictures, you can add information. This is a great way to present a project. You can also make them more complicated. So remake or dinosaur time periods. Again, it's along a timeline. It's got pictures. It's got information. This is just a little bit more complicated, higher level. So you can have, maybe this is a group project. The kids can all log on and work together to create a timeline for something. Or they can make their own timeline for something like their lives, something individual. Or you could even have this timeline in your classroom. First you do this, then you do this. This could be the writing process. Remake or fact or fiction. This is just a grid. If you go back to make a Padlet, actually this is probably a wall. It's either a grid or a wall. They're both the same, but wall is a little more tightly packed. Grid is just straight rows. So if I look at it, this is a grid because it's straight rows. But this is a fact or fiction, so this could be kind of a fun way to quiz. They say upvote to agree, downvote to disagree. So in a Padlet for modify, you have the option to let your kids have reactions. So here, vote is where you would input those actions, and you can have, this is like a study guide. What is this true? Is this false? Practice, and then maybe post the answers on your Google Classroom. And then my example Padlet, I want to show you really quickly. If you go to this little plus sign, this is how you create a Padlet. When you click on these 3 dots, you get all these options for different ways to post. So you can upload a file, you can link a URL. So when I talked about posting a read aloud, this is a great place to put it. And it'll show up like this with these some image from the video. So that's helpful. You can put a Snapchat, a Google pic, not a Snapchat, but a snap from your webcam. You can record your screen. You can record your voice. So if you want them to say something, this is a great way to do it. For younger kids, that might be great because it's easier than typing out. You can draw, you can add a location, you can link to another Padlet. So if they make something of their own, this is where you could link all the Padlets. Different things like that. Quickly, there's a few quick options like uploading, linking, searching Google, and posting a picture. But really quickly, that's just different ways you can use Padlet. And if you go back to the gallery, you can scroll on your own. There's so many different ways that I haven't even thought of, but I really like Padlet for how visual it is and how easy it is to use for the kids. So I hope that helped. That's some ideas for Padlet.